talk. So,
Thank you.
welcome everybody, and let me say just one thing. 我爱台湾!
OK， 各位朋友大家好，我是维提卡的 Frank。今天很开心呢，能够有这个机会，特别为大家专访到 marzocco 的全球销售总监 Lorenzo。今天呢，由我呢来专访他，跟大家分享一些有关于 marzocco 大家想知道的一些事情。OK，Hello Lorenzo. Can you say hello to the Taiwanese audience and briefly introduce yourself?
Hey, hi everybody. Extremely happy and proud to be here. My name is Lorenzo, and I've been in this journey with marzocco for the last 20 years. And it happens that I came to Taipei for the show and for the opening of marzocco Taiwan, and I'm very ready to celebrate.
Great. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. We're so happy to have Lorenzo with us. Today we're going to ask some questions about marzocco, which I'm sure that a lot of audience in Taiwan are very interested to know. Okay, so my first question is that what do you think of Taiwanese market as a whole? I mean, you travel around the world, you see every country's development of the coffee industry. What do you think of Taiwan's market for you?
Well, if we talk about specialty coffee, I believe that now is no more just a small niche as it was back 20 years ago. It became a standard, and it became also a way for people to grow coffee culture and coffee knowledge, especially. I have to say that although mostly there are 2 or 3 countries that are recognized to be very impactful for specialty coffee, and for sure, Australia is one of those, and also the northwest of the United States of America has been another part where the specialty coffee movement started and got known. I have to say that as far as concern Asia, from my traveling in Taipei since the mid 2000, has always been very well ahead of anybody else in Asia. And I think that I would say probably together with Japan, we're being the 2 hubs where the entire Asian coffee community referred to for the longest time. And now it seems to be that now that specialty coffee is pretty much spread out all over the continent, Taipei remains a reference for the passion and the level of quality that the Taiwanese people always put in this incredible and amazing drink.
Yeah, wow, I'm so proud to hear that. I cannot say anything about the position of Taiwanese coffee industry as I'm part of the industry, but I humbly believe that a lot of coffee shops, the owners, the roasters, a lot of baristas, they work closely together and to improve themselves, to learn something new. From my personal point of view, I'm also an SCA instructor. I see a lot of coffee lovers. They are so humble and they are so willing and enthusiastic about learning new things. And anyway, I'm really happy to be part of the industry here in Taiwan.
Congratulations, because you all together did an incredible job.
Great. So the second question is that when we talk about the Asian market, and part of them is the Taiwanese market, from the origin of espresso, which is Italy, which is where you are from, what do you see the growth of espresso culture here in Asia in the recent years?
Well, I have to say that, although I'm Italian and I'm proud that espresso has big Italian roots, I have to say that over the last couple of decades, and especially in Asia, there has been a transformation in the way of drinking espresso, where unluckily not really involved as much as it was the Italian espresso culture. I think that there is an influence that started from focusing itself more and more into quality and try to find better beans first, because that's where the quality comes from, and then try to find a way to properly brew those incredible coffee in the best possible ways, being that espresso, being that filter coffee. From an espresso perspective, I have to say that the way that is drunk here in Taiwan is very much different than the Italian. But I have to say that you don't brew coffee with 7 grams.
No.
and so the Italian influence is not really here. But on the contrary, what I've seen is that an ability to continue exploring and continue researching for better quality, being that espresso, or as I feel it's still the most consumed drinks over here, which are milk-based drinks.
Yeah, okay. May I ask how many espresso you drink per day, roughly speaking?
No more than 7 or 8 maximum.
7, 8? It's a lot, right?
Is it?
No.
No. I would say 4, maybe 3 to 4 would be a good average over the day.
Okay. But I wonder, do they drink cappuccino every day, or they prefer to drink straight coffee, espresso?
Well, if you compare Italy with the rest of the world, probably we're not as much milk-based culture as outside Italy. So probably the ratio straight espresso towards cappuccinos or lattes or macchiatos is way higher in Italy.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably 50-50, something like that.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, in Italy, just for you, if you've never been there, so I still believe that although it's changing a little bit, but cappuccino is a morning thing.
It's a morning thing.
So it's very difficult to see people in the afternoon having a cappuccino, while it's very common everywhere else, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that seems interesting. So talking about this widespread of espresso culture, what do you see the growth of the home market? Like people will go to Starbucks or chain store to purchase a cup of coffee, which is spending a lot of money, to be honest. So a lot of people that started to brew coffee at home, not just for saving money for sure, but they want to enjoy the coffee culture at home as well. How do you see the growth of the home market?
Yeah, it's something that I think we all, as people working in the coffee industry, we should be extremely proud of, because it meant that we, as a collectively, we have been able to make some culture around coffee. And people now, they know way more than my generation did, and the people before ourselves, and that brought coffee home. Not just for saving. I don't think probably partially is one reason, but I believe that there is an interest into the beans right now that didn't exist 20 years ago. So people, they know more about coffee. They go and they travel within the city to buy that specific beans. They have coffee subscription, and I think the whole movement helped together. So from Nespresso, which probably it cannot is fair to say is not seen as specialty coffee, but played a role because create a wider foundation on coffee which didn't exist. And from there, everybody decided to make his coffee journey and to last how long they wanted to. So from moving to capsule to pods, and to pods to grounded coffee, and to grounded coffee to beans. So that's pretty much the trajectory, and I think that we're just at the beginning. If I keep believing that it's not that different than what happened in wine 20 years ago, where I don't know, back when I was a kid, basically in Italy there was red wine or white wine. That's what you could choose, and everything was pretty much the same. And I learned from my parents that fish was white and meat was red. Now people, they know everything, everywhere they know about that specific wine from that specific region, the flavors that you expect to get when you taste a wine. And coffee is exactly doing the same. Yeah. So I think that home is continuing, and we as La Marzocco, it happens that last week we launched a new version of a very successful machine. It's smaller and also more affordable. We call it Micra, and I think that again it's another attempt to fill the gap and to bring more and more people into this coffee journey.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for the very detailed explanations. To speak about the home market, we all understand that La Marzocco is like the premium machines, like dream machine for barista at cafe. Okay, so they spend a lot of money buying La Marzocco. How do we transfer that kind of experience back to the home? I mean, for home users, there are different kind of plastic-made machine which are very cheap. You can do espresso as well, you can do cappuccino as well. How do we convince them a lot for the premium machines?
Well, I believe that as usual everything comes with passion. So although I'm not good at all, but I love bicycling, and and it's my passion together with coffee, obviously. Yeah. And again, it's if I'm very eager to learn what's the best and what how to have the best tool to have my time out, and I'm also ready to pay a little more for something that it's valued. So I think as La Marzocco Home, we basically had this approach to start by coincidence to take a professional machines, make it an internal water reservoir, and make it one group and put it in a home. That machine was called GS3, and has been the beginning probably of what we call now prosumer segment. Yeah. Where the Linea Micri is the latest addition, which again makes a lot of sense, and I think nobody needs to rush, but I think it's part of everybody's desire to explore what's next, and whatever coffee machines you do have right now, even if it's a very basic plastic machine, then if you continue to be curious about beans and coffee beans, I think you will get there, because I think it's part of a journey.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really a part of a journey. You probably started from something easy and simple, but in the end of the day, you're going for the perfection. So to me, La Marzocco is that perfection. We also noticed that in recent years, La Marzocco is promoting the idea of IoT. What do you think the value of IoT, and why do you think that's important for the coffee machine?
Well, what we have seen is that you cannot normally you cannot improve if you cannot measure. Data allow you to measure, allow you to gain information about your coffee, and so you have more information how to improve your coffee. So based on that, I think that we started this process a long time ago, some 7-8 years ago, because the idea was not only to just add some telemetric to the machine, but more extensively to be able to build this ecosystem where everything could be measured. So we started with a home machine first. Now I would say that all our coffee machines, except a couple, are IoT ready, and they are connectable. So it's I think it gives us a lot of opportunities, because we've seen already there are software that started based on this level of ability to measure. I think there are quite a few. I can name a couple which are Cropster from Cropster Cafe from an Australian company, right, and Flow from an Australian company, where both they measure the machine and give the barista the ability to improve and to know, or also to streamline something in case is a multiple location business. So I think this is a way. On top of that, I think it really, the more it's adopted by the people, the more give us the opportunity to add services into the life of a barista, into the business of a coffee shop or a coffee chain, because I think the machine, the coffee machine, which is on top of the counter, at the same time with the IoT can become the ERP of a coffee shop, can become the.
What do you think marzocco sets itself apart from its own competitors?
We believed in what we were doing, and we never ever tried to do what we were not able to. So I think marzocco, we since day one, the last at least 40 years of marzocco as a company were around a multiple boiler technology. And we basically have been the pioneer. We pioneered this system because we believed that it was just a better way to deliver more consistent and better cup of coffee. And since then we developed a company based on this. And although we had the opportunity to streamline in different directions to take the most advantage of the value of the brand, I think we stayed true who we really are, and we continue to invest in something that we knew we were good at. Probably, if I look at the oil industry, I can see that a lot of companies are tend to try to lead every segment, being an entry-level machine, being a bean-to-cup machine, being a specialty coffee machine, which is first of all is very difficult, and then it's very difficult to believe in everything. That's what I would say. So I think if I have to go to the bone of what makes marzocco different, is exactly this ability to persevere in what we have been able to manufacture properly and originally.
Okay, my last question is that we are going to celebrate marzocco Taiwan tomorrow, and can you say something about the establishment of marzocco Taiwan, why and how it is established?
Yeah, it's something that again I think we made in a different way that anybody else. So starting with marzocco USA in 2009, we started the process establishing local offices in order to be closer to our people, to our stakeholders, which was not so obvious as the company was growing. As of today, there are almost 20 La Marzocco offices around the world. Either they are directly owned by La Marzocco or not. They represent a contact point for our stakeholders to the La Marzocco world. Especially now that we are more and more visible through La Marzocco Home to the general public, we felt it was very important, and I have to say that so far has been a very successful journey. So we wish you all the best to La Marzocco Taiwan, that is just making the first step these days and has been officially launched at the coffee show this weekend. And because we are sure that we will be able to follow the same steps that we achieve in other countries.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Lorenzo, for joining us today in Taiwan. We are so glad and so excited to announce La Marzocco Taiwan. If you like our video, please
follow us on La Marzocco Taiwan YouTube channel.
Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Ciao, ciao. But it was the question, no?
Sorry?
That was the question, or
No,
was just between us? Although we had the opportunity to streamline in different directions to take the most advantage of the value of the brand, I think we stayed